Continue.
Hmm.
Hello, Susan, and very
Hello.
welcome to Sound of Your Soul podcast. I am delighted to talk to you about your Native American dolls.
Hello. How are you?
Very good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and so your Native American dolls. So, how did that actually happen with Native American dolls? How did you discover um, connecting with them, please?
Well, just for a little review for those of you who don't know me, I'm a medium and I've been in contact with spirits of those who have passed on pretty much my whole life, as long as I can remember. Now I focus that mainly on the haunted dolls. I find that ghosts really like the dolls. They like the feeling of the human body. They like a place to rest. They like something tangible for the living to look at and connect to them with.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are, choose to dwell in that way. Something new I've been doing. Normally, what I've done in the past is I've gone to thrift stores and antique shops and things like that, and I've gotten dolls in that way. I've been looking for some more unique kind of spirits.
Yes.
So during some meditation, my spirit guides had been compelling me to build a mirror portal, to open up a portal into other dimensions, to be able to draw spirits in. Okay, so that's what I've been doing, and it's like a triple mirror. The three mirrors face each
Yes.
other. There's some different things that go into it, but then the spirits, it opens as a portal to them, and if they're interested, they can come in. And then what I have are a variety of different dolls and vessels and things for them to choose from, and they can
Yes.
choose from those to inhabit one of the vessels. So a lot of times they'll choose something that reminds them of themselves or of their time period, or sometimes they'll just, for whatever reason, they'll choose whatever vessel. So that has led me to finding some really unique spirits and drawing them into my experience and being able to share them with people. So the ones that I thought we talk about today are the indigenous people, the Native Americans, the
Wow.
what I guess we used to call Indians, but
Yes. Yes.
now there's more politically correct terminology and things. But
Okay.
so I have three of those today that I thought that we would talk about.
Oh, I think that's absolutely fantastic. I'm so excited to hear the story about your three Native American dolls. They sound brilliant.
This one, her name is Elu. Okay, and Elu was 4 years old. Her mother was very pregnant. Okay. She was one of many, many children. Her father was a chief of the tribe. They were very well respected. She was very well loved. Her mother it was almost time for her to have that baby. So she was having contractions all throughout this one day, right? So she leaned back against a tree. She was very exhausted and she took a little nap, like 15 minutes is all it was, just between contractions to try to rest up for this birth of this baby, right? So during that time, little Elu came up missing. So we're talking around the 1790s.
Wow.
Okay. And we're looking at like the Pacific Northwest area of the United States, right? So the way they described it to me, I would guess it to be like near the Seattle area
Yeah.
with the mountains and the lakes and that kind of thing, and the ocean not too
Yeah.
far off, that kind of thing. So, Elu, what happened was there was a Sasquatch. Okay. It was a Sasquatch mother. There was like a lot of them in the area at that time, you know? So the mother had lost an infant Sasquatch and she was mourning. Okay.
Okay.
And when she saw little Elu, she saw that as an opportunity to replace her child. Okay. So she snatched up little Elu.
Yeah.
So what happened then? The mother woke up and she couldn't find the child anywhere, and her labor's impending, and she's walking through the woods and she's yelling Elu, Elu, and she's trying to find her. The Sasquatch kind of picked up on that name, and it was more of a guttural thing, but she would kind of call her like Elu, something like that. So Elu, she speaks with me telepathically. Because she's a child, she had learned some of her own language, but she forgot a good bit of it. And she became entwined with the Sasquatch and was raised as one. She became very dirty, and her clothes became very tattered over time. She, she was a little confused as to why she was different from them, but she just adapted to their ways, as well as she could.
Mhm.
So she was actually lived with the Sasquatch until about a year later. Apparently, it was a really bad winter came in with an ice storm. And I have like a mirror scry
Yes.
ability, and I can see visions in mirrors, and some of this kind of comes to me like a dream or a story in the mirror. So that's kind of how I connect with the story. But anyway, the mother was trying to keep her warm in the fur, but her fur was very wet and icy
Yeah.
as well. And she just was unable to keep little Elu from becoming frostbit and frozen. And that's how she died. She was between the ages of 4 and 5, and she died in that way.
Wow.
So she haunted that woods area for, centuries, ages,
Yes, yes, yes,
until this mirror portal opened up to her,
yes.
and she decided to step through, and she possessed this doll that was probably the most similar looking thing to what she knew.
Yes.
So
I think that's fantastic. I mean, I cannot believe this is happening. I mean, this is a fantastic story that you're telling, and I'm just blown away by how this is happening. It's absolutely incredible. I
yeah,
love
it's
it.
very interesting. And
Yes, this is.
she loves my German shepherds. She
Oh,
she calls them wolves. She thinks they're wolves, but she likes them a lot, and she can, I think she speaks to them. I think she calls them. And I think she's a pretty interesting little girl.
yeah, I think so
So
too. I think so. She's brilliant,
yeah,
amazing. That is incredible about the story about the Elu. I hope I'm saying it right.
Elu.
Elu.
Mhm.
That's amazing. I mean, that is just so like it's just fantastic, like how that all happened,
Mhm.
and so exciting. Like the mother and the child, and it was
Mhm.
it's just like you could vision it and see it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
it's yeah, it's really, really good. I love it. I love it.
this one I think she's such a pretty doll.
Yeah.
This one, her name is Katori.
Control.
Okay, and Katori was part of the Hopi tribe
Yeah.
of Indians,
Yeah.
and they have, and I haven't really researched it. I only go with
Yeah.
sort of what I get and what they tell me and that kind of
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
But they had a deep belief and like a connection with what they called the ant people. Okay, and the ant people were sort of like gods that came up through the underground, through caves, and guided them and helped them. Okay, so now they we understand that those are similar to the gray aliens that we
Yeah.
know of today,
Yes. Yes.
the Palladians.
Yes.
So a lot of people believe that the Hopi Indians were guided by the Palladians back in that time. So Katori sort of is able to connect still with those Palladians, with the ant people, she calls them. So
Wow.
Katori was between 15 and 16 years old. She was right at that age where she was becoming a woman, and what they did in their culture to let other people know that they were ready to wed, that they were ready to bear children, that they had become a woman, they would take their hair and they would put it in these sort of it was called a Polini Ini, and it
Oh,
was almost like a Princess Leia style,
okay.
with
Yes.
the side buns,
Yes.
and it was to resemble a butterfly, and it
Okay.
sort of was like the catharsis of the little caterpillar into the
Wow. Yes.
butterfly.
Yes.
It
Yes.
sort of resembled the same thing of a young girl becoming a woman.
Okay.
So that's the way that she wore her hair. And she has asked me that, when she gets her forever home and her keeper, that perhaps maybe they try to look that up and style her hair in that way because she feels childish with her hair down like this.
Yes.
So I try to not mess with the dolls a lot because they get attached to me and I
Okay.
want them to be able to go to their permanent home. And I
Yes.
find the more you groom them, the more change clothes, do
Yes.
things like that, that causes them to attach to me.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm just passing on that information for her new keeper to, perhaps do that with her hair, and that's going to make her really happy.
But yeah.
So what I see with her is there'll be like a smoke, like a mist. She kind of manifests in that way. And I get a smell of like a campfire kind of smell
Oh,
when that happens, or like herbs burning, like
yes.
sage or something like that. So that's sort of how I know when she wants to communicate. She also is pretty famous for moving this around her rod, and
Her rod.
she
Yeah.
likes to use that to communicate, to let us know that she has something to tell us. She likes to
Yeah.
protect the
Yeah.
house, and she says that she goes out and runs around the perimeter and returns, that she does that sometimes. So she let me know about that. So that's Miss Katori.
Wow. I mean, Miss Katori, I did not know like that they put the buns up. I call them buns in their hair. I didn't
Yeah,
know that was related at all.
I've never heard of it until she started speaking of it. So
Yeah, so that's
it's interesting.
fantastic. Like wow, I'm still blown away. I don't know what to say about the dolls. They're just
Yeah.
incredibly
Yeah. And I do
incredible.
like some free writing. So I'll get little bits of strange words, like
Yeah.
the word that she used for her hairstyle and things. And then, later I'll go and kind of Google it and see what it is. And yeah, it pops up and it's like, it does sort of look like butterfly wings. They're sort of like
Wow.
buns that are bigger at the top and a little smaller at the bottom.
Wow.
But
And I
yes, it's
and I
interesting.
love yeah, and I love the rod. As you said, the rod, like the protector of the family, protector of everything. That is so
Mhm.
interesting. I mean, these stories are just like they're just getting really good. Like, I mean, because you can feel the stories when you're talking, you can feel the words, you can feel the,
Yeah.
connection towards the dolls, and it's just like incredible, like feeling like of like you're just going envisioning them. Wow, that's really good. That's really powerful.
I know a lot of people that are into spiritualism and that kind of thing are
Yes,
just feeling right now like we're in an age of new awareness. Like
yes,
so many people are waking up to,
yeah,
spiritualism,
yes,
and that
yes,
there's more than just this reality and this
yes,
right here. And it just seems like people are so wanting to connect and, wanting to know more about other places and times, and thinking of time more in terms of like an infinity sign rather than linear,
yes,
what I mean?
yes,
So being able to pop in and out of other time frames in this way and take a peek into other cultures and
yeah.
worlds and times, it's a privilege.
Yeah.
So, I'm very excited to be able to do it. I do find that this the mirror portal has drawn in like a lot of this alien
Yes,
stuff. So,
yes, yes,
there's a lot of talk about like
yes,
full disclosure is
yes,
impending, and
yeah,
we're feeling like, there's a big message to come and that kind
yes,
of thing.
yeah,
And I feel like
I do.
some of these dolls that are coming in, they're, these spirits, they're like messengers to try to help ease us into that and try to assist with that.
I
You know,
agree. I
they
agree
kind
because
of they soften the message, I think, a little.
I agree because I believe in what you're saying is true. Like it's like, there is more than this world. There is more than just this stone because I know I don't go too deep into this, but there's how do I say it? The world is like opening up to new experiences, new
Mhm.
things from different places,
Dimensions.
dimensions, and portals,
Mhm.
and I remember the time I opened a portal in my room,
Mm.
and it was fine, and it's just these experiences that like just make you just go, wow, we're not the only people here. There is lots of like planets that we don't know about, and,
Oh
and
yeah.
lots of creatures that we don't know about. and aliens.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, and I found like also along with the aliens and the Native American spirits, I'm getting a lot of like elfin
Mm,
type entities coming through as well, and
yeah,
those are a lot of fun, very
yeah.
mischievous, and we can maybe talk about those on another day. But
Yes, 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 yes.
this is my other one. Her name's
Wow.
Ezawa.
Oh
Okay,
wow. Oh wow.
and the thing about the Native Americans is, they were just so spiritual. Like,
Yes,
back at that time, they were to the point that we feel like maybe we're just getting to now. They
yes,
were
yes,
just so open and they were
yes,
so
yes,
connected to,
yes, yes,
spirituality and
yes.
things like that. So there were a lot of things that we would probably consider to be magic,
Yes,
magic
yes.
that happened in their
Yes,
everyday lives
yes,
because they believed and they were open to it, and
yes.
things like that. And that's sort of where her story comes in. She, on her 18th birthday, it was foretold at the time of her birth by a shaman that she was special, and her name actually translated kind of roughly to wolf.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yes.
So she was seen as running as a wolf and being like a wolf. And she wasn't a particularly feminine Indian maiden.
Yes.
She was, more kind of a gender neutral kind of girl. That
Yes.
was just sort of the way she was. And a lot of people maybe don't realize, back at that time, that was, it happened all the time. It was
Yes.
considered natural within the
Yes.
tribe. And there was a lot of like same sex relationships and things
Yes.
like that that
Yes.
happened
Yes.
with Native Americans.
Of course.
So that was the case with her.
Yeah.
On her 18th birthday, what happened was she was out looking at the moon and thinking about the prophecy that the shaman had about her. And she tells me that she actually transformed, and she doesn't like labels, but
Yeah. Mhm.
into, she gave me the word lichen,
Yeah.
which Lycan, which kind of roughly translates into what we would call werewolf.
Wow.
So she had the ability to shapeshift between wolf and girl. So she did that, and she protected her tribe and her village, by running the perimeter and, watching over them from the forest. So that was what she did. So, now she is able to commune with animals and nature and things like that and translate that kind of thing. So she's very interesting, shape shifting.
Shape-shifting, exactly. I love the way you said about the shaman as well, like, and like, she got taught by the shaman, and that's just like, well, I was going, whoa, that's really good. Because I have a shamanic drum, like, and
Uh-huh.
and it's incredible, like, and I can relate, I sort of can relate to her a bit.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. It's
Hmm.
I'm not, I'm speechless, sorry. I don't know what else I could say, but I'm just, you know,
Hmm.
taking it in.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible. And those dolls are just like, I mean, the stories are just incredible, like just taking them all in, like, and really getting to know the dolls are so important, and
Hmm.
how you can connect to them is fantastic. And the portal, you talk about the portal as well, and the portals are
Hmm.
amazing as well.
Hmm.
And I love the way you have the portal with the mirrors as well.
Hmm.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Wow. Can you tell me more about the mirrors as well, please, please?
Yeah. I mean, there was an ancient sigil
Yeah.
that was shared with me by my spirit guide, that helps. And it's sort of like a ritual magic kind of thing that you do, and a process that I go through
Yeah.
to open it. There's prayers for protection so that, nothing really dark comes
Yeah.
through. There's intention setting, for what kinds of spirits come, and beckoning especially unique ones has been something that I've been focused on, trying to meet different kinds of people
Yeah.
and people from different time frames and different like the elves and things like that. So that's what we do. And then, I close off the portal so that
Yeah.
nothing sneaks in
Yes. Yes.
afterwards. And,
Yes.
of course, you have to do that kind of thing very respectfully and very
Yes.
carefully.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
But yeah, the portal, my spirit guide had been talking to me about it for a long time, and I'd been kind of procrastinating about it. And, she assured me that it would be safe and that many things would come and many spirits and that it would give us access to some different kinds of
Yeah.
things. And indeed it has, but I do still continue to go out and, look for the spirits that
Yeah.
that I find around here. But, you kind of tend to find that a lot of them are local,
Yes.
the
Yes.
ones that I meet around here, you
Wow.
know.
That's very interesting. I mean, I do a lot of like I know I do a bit of deep meditation and everything,
Mm,
but when I do deep meditation, I just tend to just go into the deep meditation and just sort of like sometimes I can project like astral project sometimes
mhm.
like, and it's incredible.
That's a great gift. Yes.
Yeah. And then I know that I was in a meditation and then I my body started to move and it was just like I was like ready, steady, go, ready, steady, go. And I couldn't move. I was going, I want
Mhm.
you to go. Ah, so anyway,
Is it
but
almost like a lucid dreaming kind of
yes,
experience?
yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so interested and I'm so blown away. I know by how you're explaining things because it's so relatable and it's so
Mhm.
good and it's fantastic.
Mhm.
And
And dreams, it seems to be a way that the spirits love to connect with us,
mm,
because maybe we aren't as open as we could be when
yes,
we're awake.
yes,
You're
yes,
kind of taught as a child, children, like when I was a child, I used to see and interact with a lot of things, but people kind of start to tell you this is real and this isn't, and this is
yes,
good and
yes,
this isn't,
yeah,
so you
yeah,
start to kind of shut those things down as a
yeah,
child,
you
and
do.
then when you become an adult, you start to think things are silly or not real, or people are going to
Yeah,
think you're crazy,
yeah.
or things like that. But, when you're dreaming or you're meditating, you can
Hmm.
open up that third eye,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And those things start to come to you. So it's just fascinating.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it all. When I did the drumming on a client, like I saw the medicine man, like, it just came in
Mhm.
like really quick, really flashy. And I
Yes.
was going, whoa, I went, what did
Mhm.
I see there? Okay. And
Yes.
I felt it. And I was just going, I just kept doing it. I just kept going. I kept going because, and it just said, go deeper, go deeper. And like, they give you
Mhm.
little messages.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, that's how the mirror scry works for me.
mm,
I'll start to look at it and I'll start to just soften my gaze,
yes,
and I can feel myself start to get pulled in.
yes,
And
yes.
then things are fuzzy and then the edges start to define,
Okay.
and then, you're sort of almost like watching a video in a way,
Yes,
but it's more like a dream,
yes,
you
yes,
know. And then sometimes I have a little trouble remembering some of it too as well, like a
yes,
dream,
yes, yeah.
So then that's why I like to use my other divination tools like my spirit boards and
Mhm.
my dowsing rods. I use a lot, and my pendulums and things like that. And I can kind of pick out more details that way.
Yes,
I
yes,
can get dates and I can get
yes,
names, and because otherwise I'm looking at the vision and I'm thinking, okay, well, this looks like maybe a Victorian era or
yes,
whatever.
yes, yeah.
But
Very
then
good.
later I can get out the spirit board and they can actually, go 1793 for me,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of thing. So that's how I kind of round out the story, you
That's,
know. And then, I try to put it together in an entertaining way,
yeah, yes, yes. And
for people to read. And I think that's what's
mm,
different between my dolls and a lot of haunted dolls that you see. Like, you can go on eBay or Etsy and you can look up haunted dolls and you can find lots of things. And
mm,
I'm not saying that I don't think they're haunted. I I,
yeah,
I believe that they are. I think a
yeah,
lot of dolls are haunted. But people aren't have different gifts,
yeah,
so you may get a name, you may get an age of the person or whatever, but I like the fact that I'm able to connect with them like this and give you that full story. I
yes,
think
yes,
that's what makes my dolls different from
yes,
the other ones out there. And there's
mm,
a lot of details about their life, a
yeah,
lot of details about what they're doing in this realm,
yes,
what kind of paranormal activity that I've seen from them, that
yes.
kind of thing.
I think you have amazing dolls. And I think
Thank
that
you.
I really, really do. I really appreciate all your stories about your fantastic dolls because I know they mean a lot to you. And I know their stories, like when they're sharing their stories, it means a lot. Like because they're giving their story or their story to you, like, and
Mhm.
you're telling it. And that means it's incredible because every doll has a story and every doll is different. And, you know, and it's just like stories just inspire people and move people and and
Right, and these
yeah,
details that they
yes,
give me, I
yes,
try not to discern too much what I think is important and what I don't,
yes,
because that little detail may be the thing
mhm,
that connects you to that
yes,
spirit. You know what I
yes,
mean?
yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes,
maybe it might seem silly to me to say, she really likes marshmallows, but,
yeah,
you know, maybe that's the thing that rings the bell to you that, you know,
yes, yes,
that's the spirit I'm supposed to be connected with, you know,
yes,
that
yes,
kind of thing. And I'd mentioned I kind of have a little niche of what I call gay paranormal, which is
yes,
something that I don't see a lot of other people doing. Um, I, I I meet a lot of spirits, especially male spirits from
yes.
past times who had like gender. Um, you know, they felt more like they were a woman, and
Okay,
but at that
yes,
time they couldn't express that, you know, and
yes.
they're very excited to come forward and see a
That's very
day where
good.
things are so very different.
I think that's
So, you know,
incredible.
I see a lot of that too.
Yes,
And,
yes,
you know, that's kind of something different that I'm offering to
yes.
people that a lot of other haunted doll vendors don't have.
That's
But
me.
yeah, so I'm on Haunted Playthings on eBay and Etsy. And
That
I'm thinking of like doing some private boutique appointments here in my home and
yeah,
letting people come in and see the dolls, connect with the dolls, ask them questions. I'm
yeah.
looking at doing some more TikTok stuff.
That's pretty cool. I love it.
Doing questions from, you know, collective readings for people from the dolls and that kind of thing because they have just a wealth of information.
They got an awful lot of information, and it's just like very powerful information that they can give some
Mhm.
person, and it can bring joy to their life, and it can bring hope and faith and everything. And it's I think it's just incredible, just that word or just that like sentence or just that like it is mind blowing, and like people will leave like you know they may happier and more grounded. And
Yeah, and I get so many reviews from people and messages back where they're just so happy, you know, with the ghost in their home and where they've connected with them and you know, all kinds of relationships of all different levels that people have, you know. So it's wonderful.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. So our time is coming up to
Okay.
a short time.
It's always fast, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. Okay, I'm just gonna pause.